You recognize that tune, and you know it's time for Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting and relic hunting. You can call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee.
And welcome back to another edition of Relics Radio. A little bit of a shock, I guess. I am your guest host for tonight, Heath Jones, normally from the History Seekers, but tonight I'm filling in for Seven, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. Today is July the 5th, 2018, and Mr. Seven is in the heart of Alabama, enjoying some vacation time down there on the beach. I want to wish him a good time with his family.
Yep, he sure is. Did you see the fish that Austin caught?
I did, man. Looked like they're having a great time down there.
Man, he said it took him over an hour to get it in. And, of course, what was that, a tarpon? How do you pronounce that? It was over 6 foot long, I believe they said. So,
man, I don't know.
It was a huge fish.
It was a big one, I tell you. They're down there in my home state, so I know it's hot, but I know they're having a good time. I asked him if he's going to go metal detecting while he was down there. He said he was going to try. He didn't know. I told him I'd put him on some of the secret Civil War sites down there.
Well, hey, he should have went then. He said he was going to go for a little bit and then on the beach. Now I don't know if he has, but he's been fishing awful lot, so. And then, of course, when we talked to him earlier, it sounded like he was at a musical, so I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I think some grandkids were watching some stuff, and I think it was louder on our end, on our receiving end, than it was for him. So
I believe it was. So he's sitting there watching cartoons right now is what he's doing, and listen to the show versus his cell phone, I guess. But
quite the change.
Heath, how did your 4th go, buddy?
It was really good, man. We had a good time. It was hot, so we didn't get out into text. Scott and I took the day off, and we were gonna go today, but my fiance had a doctor's appointment, so I had to take her to that, and so I didn't get out and detect. He went out detecting today. He said he didn't find anything though. So
man, of course,
we're going again tomorrow though.
Yeah, I hadn't been in a couple of weeks. It's just been too hot, and then. Like I said earlier, I'd got my gold sluice in, and so I'll probably hit the creeks tomorrow a little bit and see if I find some gold now. I mean, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. At least I'll keep cool in the creek. So,
Jeff, I spent a whole summer doing that, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. And I about broke my back and didn't find enough gold to really hardly pay for my time. Well, I know I didn't. I can tell you that. But I mean, you had to move a lot of material, but it is a heck of a lot of fun. There is something about finding that shiny little piece of gold that just absolutely it's undescribable, and I could see why people would be drawn to it, to do it for back in the 1800s.
Oh yeah, of course I had to talk to my wife about when I ordered the sluice, she's like, well, what do you want that for? And then I got to going through videos on YouTube from like Colorado, Corker's Creek, people where you really find gold at. And she was like, are you going to find that around here? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to find that all around here. Yeah. And then, order 2 of them. Yeah, go ahead and get you one. So,
yeah. But, see what you need to do. You should have took advantage of it and had her out there shoveling and classifying for about an hour or two. And so, you're going to have to help me. We'll find more this way. probably worked.
Speaking of Independence Day, what about our guest we got on now, Shawn Sherrill?
Yeah, man, he's
how you doing, guys?
Good, man. Glad to have you on. Good Patriot and Marine Corps veteran. Thank you for your service, man. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Patriots like you guys are the reason we were actually celebrating the holiday yesterday. So, but and you've been celebrating your holiday. You went out and metal detected a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good the last couple of weeks. So
I saw that you found some jewelry and stuff today.
Last Sunday, I scored an 1808 Classic large cent from an old 1923 church.
Oh, nice.
Man, that's nice.
Or 1823, sorry.
See, I get to envy you guys because we find very few large cents. I've only found 2 in Alabama, and my third one was up. I had to go up to the Northeast to find it. So, man, you guys are fortunate to have that kind of history up there.
Sure.
We're definitely not the Northeast side where everybody's digging 15 in a day, but every now and then I snag one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know you got the guys in Ohio. What was that, Heath?
You've dug a few of them too, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Luckily, I've run up on a spot here at home in Middle Tennessee where I've got like 5 of them off of it, and then of course I've found a few here and there. So, but I may have maybe 10. I don't have like a bucket full of them like Northeast guys do. Ohio. Yeah. In Ohio, they find them all the time too. So, but,
Pennsylvania kills it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Dang. But
well, tell
they're fun to find.
Tell us what you were using. I know you love the whites. Which machine were you using the other day?
I primarily use the Whites MX Sport. I do have the Whites TDISL. I've used it a little bit, but I'm still waiting to save it for when I go to DIV or something like that, or hit a ocean beach or something to kind of do a better discrimination at the beach with that machine. But primarily, like I said, I use the Whites MX Sport.
Yeah. And now, how long have you been doing this?
I started out in 94, 95 time frame back in California when I was stationed out at Camp Pendleton. Started out with the legendary Bounty Hunter and from local Radio Shack, and hit my right down from my comm shop at Camp Horno, California, Camp Pendleton. There was a volleyball pit, and right to the left side post I dug about 8 inches down and scored my first 2 silvers. Was a 1936 Mexican peso and a men's wedding band with hearts all over it, silver ring. And then I was telling the other guy that we were there was a park right down the road from the Camp Horno spot. There was an old park, and I wish I could go back now and hit it with a newer machine, because I found a couple of wheat pennies out there, but I know there's got to be some old silver out there from back in the day when the Marines were hanging out there.
Yeah, that's one thing. You find them Wheaties, and there's got to be silver around. And in a lot of your, we had a lot of World War II maneuvers in this area, and you'll find a lot of the wheat pennies, and then center you'll find Merc dimes, and then Walking Liberty, stuff like that. But yeah, if you're finding them Wheaties, there's got to be silver there somewhere. So they didn't drop just one of them.
Exactly. I do want to give a shout out to Lloyd real quick. I took his advice. And I was metal detecting an 1895 house, but right next door was a 1955 house. And on last time I was on the show with Loy, I had told him I'd never found a standing Liberty quarter. Well, I go over to the 1955 yard, and I scored my first standing Liberty quarter in a 1955 yard. So 50s is the bread and butter yard to hit a standing Liberty quarter.
You're right.
I've never found one. Well, I've never found a walk-in or a standing.
And Jeff, don't feel
I've
bad.
Got a walking half and I got a standing.
I have not found either as well. And he came on and with Scott and I one night and was telling us that, and we're like, really? Because see, we kind of bypassed those 50s houses and never hunted them. Mm-hmm. We wanted the really old stuff, and but I'd never found one. And we went to one house that was from 52, and Scott had never dug one, and he dug one right in front of me. And it literally was just a week or two after Lloyd told us that. So you're right.
Yeah, that's that's the way I do. I pass up the 50s houses.
Yeah,
Lloyd and I do, and I mean, of course, that's where you're going to find your caches and like your walk-in and standing and stuff like that. So, but we just pass them up because there's always so much trash in the yard. Is the reason we pass them up. So,
well,
we got a question for you. Yeah, we got a question for you, Shawn. It's from Woody Jones. He said, "Did you ever detect overseas?"
I unfortunately, never got the privilege to deploy. I was on standby 3 times on a parade deck, but never physically left the country with the Marines anyway. So no.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's isn't Butch? He's going to England or where is it?
Yeah, they're going over. They've got a hunt lined up. If you sign up, and I'm sorry, I don't have the information, but you can call American Digger Magazine if you're interested in going. But they're getting a group of people from here in the U.S. to go over there, and if you want to hunt,
God, I'd love to go.
Oh, me too, man. I tell you,
that would be a blast. That would be a blast. Oh.
Yeah, but
see, I heard it was pretty pricey.
Yeah, a little pricey, but man, they have some killer spots, is my understanding. Brandon Neese, it's the same spot Brandon Neese, Dr. Tones went to, and they were finding Roman coins and gold coins.
Wow.
I mean, just all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Man, could you guys imagine finding something that old? I mean, it would. Here we find my oldest coin, and it was like 250, 300 years old. And then, I mean, you find something thousands of years old. That would be so neat. But I mean,
oh, without a doubt, man, I would love to. Well, and I was talking to some guys today on the phone, and I was telling them I still like hunting for Civil War stuff. And Shawn, I'm sure you may be the same way. But once you've done it for a while, and you start finding large scents and stuff like that, like some of the guys do up in the Northeast. Man, I've been having a draw to that, guys. I don't know. Shawn, do you like that?
I mean, I stay predominantly. I stay in corn and jewelry anyway. So, and I pretty much dig anything that's repeating. If it's a repeating signal at an old house, I'm going to dig it because I've been so surprised so many times of things that was not even close in the VDI range that it should have been, and something popped out amazing. But as far as Civil War goes, I mean, I've yet to really hit a major Civil War site. I've stumbled across a North Carolina button in a 1930s front yard. So, I mean, go figure on that one. Bullets, I've got a couple of sites that have some Civil War activity, and that me and a couple of guys have come across some Civil War bullets and a couple of button pieces like the backs and stuff. Right. But we really haven't found. There's supposed to be some old encampments and stuff like that out there that we're trying to find them, but anyway, we haven't yet found them yet. So.
Right.
Shawn, what would be your best find if you have one?
That's going what category? I've got a Trime. That's probably one of my favorites because I found that early on with the MX Sport. Yeah. Trying to think. I've got a 22 karat gold ring. That was my first gold ring. That was a shocker. It was a BDI 52 on the White's MX Sport, so it rang up just like a corroded zinc penny. And I had been digging a bunch of zinc pennies in this park, and I happened to walk by it, and I was on my way to the truck, and I hit that 52, and I was like, I ain't going to dig it. And I was like, I'm going to go in and pop it up. And it was a 22 karat gold ring, weighs in about 10 grams of gold with a yellow sapphire in it.
Wow.
That was my first score. I found a KG2. I mean, I've got so many just one-offs that were shockers when I dug them that I can't really put an exact favorite. I've got some bucket listers, of course, like Blaine's NC buckle that I would love to have found, but NC Civil War buckle that he found. It's on the cover of American Digger, actually.
Is that the one that's going to be on the cover? I saw that and wondered who that was. That's awesome.
Yep, that was Blaine's. Yep.
Congrats, Blaine, man. That is a great find. Hey, Jeff, let me jump in real quick. I forgot to mention beginning of the show, we're using a different call-in number tonight, and we do this kind of when Lloyd comes over and hosts for us, too. We're using the History Seeker call-in number tonight, and that's area code 678-774-7335. Again, 678-774-7335. If you want to call in, talk to Shawn, give us a call on that number. We'll get you added in. And,
yeah, I meant to ask you that before the show started, and it kind of slipped my mind. And I seen where Relics Radio posted it on the comment section. So
yeah. So wanted to get that out there, and I also posted it in chat as well. So if you guys want to call in there you will see the number. So, Shawn, let me ask you this, and I know you called me and bought your MX Sport from me and also the TDI.
Yes, sir.
And we never talked about it, but what drew you to White's?
Mainly the American-made label is probably the number one. I'm very big with American-made products. Number two is their customer service. In my opinion, they have one of the best customer services out there. I know everybody has their right and their opinions to their own brand that they prefer, but for me, it's White's and White's only. I just love their products, and I love their customer service. If something messes up, breaks, I call them up, and they 100% customer satisfaction is almost guaranteed. I've never had an issue with any problems with not being able to get something fixed or resolved ASAP. And it's usually, and I'm like, I think I said it on the last time I was on. I was surprised because I called and told them that I had two of the older headphones before they did a modification. And I said that they both broke, and I tried to fix them myself, and I just wanted one pair. Well, I opened up the box after I moved in with my girlfriend. We finally moved, and it's like 10 days later, I finally opened the box up, and there was two brand new of the new model headphones in there with the new adjustment that they made to the earpiece side where they don't break. And I was shocked that I was expecting one, not two. So yeah, White's has definitely got my vote 100%. So.
See, that was great. I seen that video that you posted on your Facebook, and then of course that was real nice of them. I mean, and they look good quality headphones too. So.
Yep.
You can't beat that. And you know what? It doesn't look like you're having any trouble finding stuff with their machines either. So apparently the performance is outstanding. The proof is in the pudding. So.
Yes, it is. Like I said, go ahead.
There at one time I thought about getting the V3i, and then of course I was looking at it pretty hard, and then of course I changed my mind. I was wanting something that was waterproof, and then so I went that direction. But I've heard a lot of good come from the V3i.
If you can take the time to learn it, that is a killer machine. It's got a lot of settings on it, but if you can learn what all of them do, it is an amazing machine. I had one for a while, and I also had the MX Sport for a while, too.
Yeah, I had the TDI. I really like the TDI. Of course, I bought it for Virginia when I'd go out there. And then, of course, then I got the GPX, and I ended up selling my TDI or trading it in to Don Dotson, I believe, for a coil for my GPX. But it was a great machine. I wish I still had it, though. I mean, you can always was
it the TDI or the TDI SL?
The TDI, just the regular.
Okay.
Just the older.
Yeah.
Original TDI.
Yeah, the TDI SL now has the better buttons on them to where knobs or whatever, they don't lose the setting as easy now, so you can fine tune it pretty good now.
Okay.
There are some guys that still like that Pro, the older version, but they don't even make them anymore. And if you're one of those guys listening and you like the Pro, you better hang on to it because there are no more. The only ones they make now is the SL. So, and I've had people that absolutely called and they would not take the SL. They only want the Pro, and they look around till they find a used one. I don't know why.
Yeah. And see, I've noticed that, and I always wondered why too. But I mean, of course, I've only used the older one. I've never used the newer one, so I mean, I don't know the difference. But it was a good machine.
And the only thing I wish they would do is make it waterproof. That would be the only thing I wish they would adjust that. I've seen a modification. Yeah, I hope so.
I would almost bet that something like that's coming. I know we had Tom Boykin on our show back, I don't know, several months ago, maybe a year, and they really were listening to what all the users and listeners were saying, and really taking notes to a lot of the stuff. And I think they're really working on some big stuff now.
Yep. Well, Heath, you about ready for a short break there?
Yeah,
we got to pay some bills, buddy.
Pay some bills, keep the lights on. Guys, stand by. We'll be right back after a word from the sponsors.
If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671, and be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio.
And I tell you what, guys, Loy is not joking. That is an amazing magazine, and if you're not a subscriber, you should be. You really should be.
Yeah, it is a great magazine. Of course, I need to renew my subscription, but I just hadn't done it right yet. So, but it is a great magazine,
and it's not that much. $30-some-odd a year, and I mean, you can't beat that. You absolutely cannot beat that. I have been a subscriber for years and years and years, and I have gotten more information from that magazine than any of the others. And I used to subscribe to all of them, and I let all of them go. That's the only one that I subscribe to now. And so I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, and I like the digital format, so, I mean, that's pretty good.
Well, you know, and I do too, because I'm a techie, guys, and the folks that listen to us on History Seekers, I know y'all know this, but I am a techno nerd. But for some reason, I still like that old school hard copy of the magazine, and a lot of the reason is if I've been on the cover twice, I think now, and what I was going to do, and I still hadn't done it, but I'm going to, I promise. I'm going to make a shadow box with my finds that were on the cover, and put the find and the magazine together in the shadow box. And I just think
that'll be good.
Really cool. Yeah, and get a separate. I have 2 copies of the magazine that I had the find on, and so I'm gonna have the cover part on one side of the shadow box, and then have it opened and turned to the article about the item on the other part.
Exactly.
So I just thought that would be just so cool, you know. Something for
years.
I've got long after I'm gone, somebody will know that this item, you know, where it come from, and you know, a little bit about it.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be in there one time, and I've got that displayed, and then of course with the relics that was in there too. So, and it turned out
I've been in there
nice
once.
Display.
I had I got in there one time. It was good.
Yeah.
And then of course that gold ring I found, I've been meaning to put it in there. Like I said, I'm raising a 1-year-old, and then you get everything together, and then of course it's the excuse. It doesn't take just a second to send the photos in, but I mean, I still need to do that.
And
Lois said something about writing a story on it or something.
Oh yeah, and they do take stories, and they give out awards for people that write articles for them. Like they just did it. I think Barb Connell got one. They give away free subscriptions and stuff. If you know different stuff, they give away. I think like $500 maybe, or $1,000. I don't remember. They give away a financial award. They had a panel that voted on all the writers over the course of a year and who had the best stories. And then that writer got so much money. And so it's kind of cool. But hey, guys, if you haven't submitted anything, if anybody's listening and you haven't submitted anything to American Digger Magazine, it's super easy. just type in, go open up your email, take really good pictures of your item in high quality. They do want high resolution, but your smartphone, if you have a modern smartphone like an iPhone, they will pass for the high quality, and then send it to publisher@americandigger.com, and just in the subject line, just Doug section. Is what you want to put in the subject, and tell just a little bit about what machine. You don't have to tell exactly where it was found, maybe state, county, or north, like say North Alabama, or North Tennessee, or where, just a generality of it, and what it is, and you never know.
You don't have to put, you never know, and you don't have to put the address in and everything where you found it at. So.
But just a little information. A lot of people like to know like what machine you were using, so I always put that in there, and so that's really cool. They do require that it have been found within the last 6 months, so it is just dug. You can't have stuff that you dug 20 years ago in there. It would have to be a recent find. That's the only stipulations on it.
Yeah, well, I need to hurry up and get that ring in there then.
Yeah. Run.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I might need to send him a bunch of stuff that I found recently.
Yeah. And make sure you mention what machine, because you would be surprised at how many people look and say, "Oh man, well that was found with an MX Sport, and that was found with the MX Sport," and so it helps. Like if you've got a favorite brand and the brand you're using, it helps them out too. So.
Gotcha.
Mark said no address, just a GPS coordinates.
Mark, that's only if you're CCing Heath Jones at treasuremtndetectors.com. And if you want to CC me, then yes. No, we wouldn't do that to you, but so tell us a little bit more about your hunting experiences up there, Shawn, and some of the guys you hunt with. I know you hunt with Blaine and some of those guys, don't you?
Yeah, I hunt with Tyler McGee, Blaine Bunch, Luke Reynolds, Dean McDowell. That's usually the most. Every now and then I'll venture out east and swing with Tyler Jones. I've met up with Doug Melby a few times. Ed LaForge is another guy I've metal detected with in the area. We pretty much, usually I work 6 to 2, and until I got my son, I was out the door at 1:55. I was almost out the door, and I was door knocking like a fool, and I was going around getting permissions, and of course metal detecting them right then, not waiting. So now things have slowed down a little bit, and got moved in to a new house and stuff, and I got my 5-year-old with me now, so. We'll go out about 3 or 4 o'clock when it kind of cools down a little bit, starts to anyway. And we'll do some door knocking, and I may swing for an hour and a half or 2 hours, but not like I was before I got him. But I take him over that any day. So.
Yeah, I'd seen some pictures of him on your Facebook thing, and then of course we'll get more into your Facebook page later. But I can't wait till Avery gets a little bit older, and then of course he can go out with me. I took him out. It's been probably. About a month ago, about 2 months ago. And then, of course, it was late in the evening under a shade tree, and I was pushing him around in his stroller, and then, of course, I was metal detecting. And I did find a Civil War bullet while we were out, and then, of course, I found out real quick, do not hand he was 9 months at the time, or 10 months at the time. Don't hand him a Civil War bullet, because he's going to try to eat it. So, of course, I say that's his first Civil War bullet he found. So. But we only stayed out a little bit, and then we had to come back home, but it was nice.
Now, how old is your son, Shawn?
He's 5. He starts school the next couple of weeks.
Now, you got him a detector too, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got him the White's X-Venture, and his first time out with it after I had just got him, we hit that same 1895 house and went swinging around the big magnolia tree, and he got a good signal, so I was like, okay, let's dig it up. So I helped him dig it up, and it was a guts of a pocket watch. So.
Oh, wow. Well, he's
made
chip off the
made the White
then.
I hope so. Hope he does better than I do. But no, that picture I took with him with the X-Venture and the pocket watch made the White online newsletter.
Oh, so. Nice. Yeah, we'll have to. Have you got that posted in your group, by the way? I had to check that out. I missed that.
I think I do. Yeah, I posted the I think Melissa Wise is who got him one of the information, and so she put it in their newsletter for me.
She's
also
really
my
nice
charm made it too. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's very nice. I appreciate everything White's has done for me.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about your group too.
My Facebook group or my group of guys that I swing with?
Well, your Facebook group.
Okay, my Facebook group is Sgt Whitey's Dirt Discoveries. It is a individual Facebook. It's just strictly for my finds. That's where I post all my finds, but I also do contests. I have a logo that I've made. I have hats coming hopefully soon. I've got shirts and stickers right now. I can make hoodies, tank tops, all kinds of different types of shirts. If someone's got an idea, I can probably make it. Like I said, I am working with a person out in California right now is looking to try to get my logo on a hat. It's been pretty difficult because it's so detailed. But I did finally find someone that can do it, and so the hats are coming hopefully in the next 3 weeks to 4 weeks is what I'm hoping. But I will talk about my local group too that I hunt with. I've got two of them. I have the Triangle group that is out of Raleigh, and then I have Undertaker's Metal Detecting that's who I usually swing with predominantly is the guys in that group. I'm an admin of Undertakers with Blaine Bunch and Luke Reynolds and Dean McDowell. And we usually try to get together as much as possible. But certain schedules like every other.
That's what I was going to ask you. How often? Yeah, how often do y'all guys get out and detect?
It's usually at the most. That's for a while. We haven't been able to do it much for a while because we've been on so much different schedules. But we had Dean is a police officer in Oxford, so he's off every other weekend. So then we try to schedule a group with all of us with every other weekend. But then there's sometimes Luke's traveling or Blaine's traveling or doing something, or Tyler's got to work. So we kind of have every now and then we can get us all together, and we actually all got together last weekend and all headed up to a little stomping ground that I had gone to and gotten some permissions to. And Tyler McGee scored a half real at the church that we've all been around numerous times, and he was able to score the half real. We scored a bunch of flat buttons, found a couple of other silvers, and Dean scored a silver wedding band at it's a carnival type location. So we hit that for a little bit, and he got a silver wedding band. But yeah, we just get together whenever we can.
I saw that one live. You guys posted a live video on that one, and it popped up notifications. I jumped in there. That was really cool.
Does most of them guys use White's detectors too, or they just use?
No, actually, Tyler's a Garrett's guy, and Blaine, Dean, and Luke are all Mind Lab CTX 3030s, and Blaine's actually got the Equinox. So we kind of got a good variety there for a while. Blaine's had the Noka. Tyler's got an MX Sport that he won or bought from somebody that won one. So we got a good variety of machines, and every now and then we all get together, and so we have like a little loving competition every now and then. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, Lori and I, we're going to have to get back out. We hadn't been out in a while, like I said, the heat and everything, and then but he's out doing me on the Equinox right now. Of course, he's learning it pretty good right now, a lot better than I have, and I just need to get out and swing it some more. So I'm not really. I'm glad he's finding everything, but I'm getting a little jealous of him there. So I'm gonna have to play catch up when I do get back out. So, but he's been doing good with it. So.
Yeah, it gets hot, man. It's rough, I tell you. Are you guys doing any water hunting at all, or plan to?
Are you talking to
me?
Sorry. So yeah, Shawn.
I'm actually trying to plan a trip out to the beach. My girlfriend and I are wanting to get away and go hit one of the beaches in North Carolina, or possibly go to South Carolina and maybe around the Myrtle Beach area or something.
Right.
I've got some contacts down in Low Country Metal Detecting for one. Got some guys out there that have invited me down a few times to hit Folly Beach down in South Carolina. There's a bunch of, he's got like 46 rings already this year. He swings the Equinox. Chris Jenkins is the guy that, main admin guy for Low Country Metal Detecting, and he and I've been talking, and he's invited me down. But yeah, I like to. And then I've got Virginia has a permit system to hunt rivers and canals and things like that. So I've got that permit to try to hit Virginia, hopefully sometime this summer if I get time to go up in Virginia and do that.
How hard was it to get that permit? I've heard about that, but I'd never tried to get one.
It's pretty easy. I can get the information and send it to you. Tyler's who introduced it to me. It's not really hard. I mean, it lasts for a full year too, so it's $25 for a full year.
Oh, you can't beat that. That's not
no,
bad
you
at
can't
all.
beat that.
No.
Oh.
I wish. Of course, around here they used to give permits to detect around your local beaches and swimming areas,
Sure.
but you had to stay so far from the boat docks. I mean, for boating accident reasons, and then but they just stopped giving them out, and I mean, you can't get on core anymore. So, I mean, that's a bad thing.
And see, back in Arkansas and Oklahoma, I never had a problem.
Yeah.
Do what?
I said I shall not get on my permit rant. Courtesy.
Yeah.
Thinking about Loy there. I think Loy just cringed a little bit if he's listening. But so now, can you detect in the water at all in Virginia without that license or permit?
Not without the permit, from what I've heard. You cannot.
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay. See, not being from there and not really detecting a whole lot up there, I wasn't sure how that worked. And I didn't know if it was just shallow water or if that was more like for diving or what.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have my diving certification like that yet, but it's just basically, up to probably about 5 or 6 feet, about as far as I go up to where I can, stand. I can go out to that, but
Yeah.
And that would be pretty cool. I mean, there's no telling. I mean, what's in the rivers that hadn't been found. And of course, I live here at Cumberland River comes right through. I mean, it's right here at my house pretty much. But the water's so murky. I mean, if you was to be diving, you couldn't see anything. And I've heard of people finding cannonballs and stuff like that out in the rivers, but I mean, I haven't seen them. But I mean, it's just.
Well, somebody just posted they found the breastplate in the river. They were scuba diving, or in a lake or in a river or something. They just found one. They posted it on Facebook not too long. I don't even remember who it was, but they said they were scuba diving when they found it.
Man,
I can only imagine the amount of relics up there.
Oh yeah, tons
in the water.
I mean, Earl from Virginia, he wanted to know what the name of the permit was.
I'll have to go look at it. I've got it put up in my office right now. I'd have to go back and look, but I'll try to see if I can get it back to Heath or whatever, and then Heath can post it somewhere that everybody can see it or whatever.
Yeah. I just saw Loy's comment in the chat. Loy is tempting me, is what he's doing.
He is.
He's dangling that carrot. He's trying to get another Heath Jones rant out of me.
Yeah. What was it just last week on the History Seekers when you had your rant?
I think. Well, I've had 2 or 3 actually in the past few weeks about how I feel about permits. But on the same token, if they are in place, you got to follow the law. So I might not agree with it, but guys, follow the law. So Earl, there is a permit thing for hunting water. I had heard about that before. I don't know the name of it either. But you do have to have a permit. I do know that up there, and they are pretty serious about it. So, for water hunting,
no rant, Heath.
No,
that's what
no rant.
Lloyd just put that.
yeah.
But that's pretty much why I stick to private property. I mean, that's like you don't have to worry about it, and I mean, and like we were talking before the show started, like some of the farms, they just give me a key and go whenever you want to, or you don't have to let them know you're there. But some of them, they have to be there before you show up to detect.
We got one like that tomorrow that we're still waiting on the landowner to call back for us to get in his creek. So, and hopefully, we're supposed to be hunting with Ken Guthrie and possibly Mark tomorrow. And it's one of those situations. But yeah, you're right, Jeff. Private property where they give you the key, that's hard to beat.
It is. Unfortunately, I had a training camp north of here, and it was a Confederate training camp, early, like 62. and then 1862. And then it was a great permission, found a lot of stuff. And then, of course, the farmer, he did not want you out there while the crops were in. Of course, you can understand. And it had a creek running through the property. So one summer I went up there, and evidently he was gone camping, and I was just metal detecting in the creek, and he thought I was in the field metal detecting because he had a neighbor tell. And I was like, no. I almost lost my permission, and he's like, I told you I didn't want metal detecting while the crops are on. I said, I was in the creek, and he was like, in the creek? Now, he said, that machine ain't waterproof. And I was like, well, yeah, here it is. Here, dump it in this bucket, and I'll show you it's waterproof. So he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, well, did you find anything? I was like, no, not really. So, but yeah, I almost lost the permission like that.
Well, and that's the exact same thing that we've got. The reason I'm not, of course, he I don't think he'd mind, but he was real adamant when we got that permission. I just got it, that we not be there unless we call him first, because he leases his field out to a guy that plants, and they don't want anybody in there metal detecting while the crops are in. So, and I understand that. So, but we'll follow that, and we've done a lot of research on this area, so hopefully it'll turn out good when we do get in there. But speaking of research, tell us a little bit about your research and kind of how you go about things, Shawn. I always like to talk to people about research, because you never know when you're going to pick up something that somebody's doing different from us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I use, in the Wake County area where I live, there's an app called iMaps Mobile, and it's pretty much, it'll tell you the year of the house, tells you pretty much the year of the house, but it doesn't tell you if it was ever modified or whatever. And then I use an app called Landglide, LANDGLIDE. That tells me exactly who owns that property, even if it's a rental or whatever. At least I can get the owner's name, and if they're not at the house physically, then I can try to look them up, and I can also, with their name, I can search possibly where they live and like their current address. So maybe they have a rent house or a couple of rent houses that are, old houses, then I can locate where they live and go door knock their house to try to get their old houses.
We use
but
that.
I use oh, go ahead. What?
No, I was just saying we use that as well. The Landglide. It's a great app.
Yeah. I also use iMaps to check. I can go back to 1981 on historical view. Mm-hmm. And just the other day, I posted it. I actually found across the street from where I currently live, there was an old farmhouse right in the backyard of a house that's there right now. And I've already talked to the homeowners, and I can metal detect their backyard. So I don't know how old the house was. It looks like at least early 1900s-ish, maybe late 1890s to early 1900s. It's just a small old farmhouse, so there may not be much there. And hopefully the house itself is where all the fill dirt is, and the backyard there wasn't much put in. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, and hopefully those you can find the clothesline too. You guys always seek those out first, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's time for another short break there.
Yeah, we need to get to that. I had to beat Scott Duncan to the clothesline. I'll close with that. So, all right, we'll be back after a word from the sponsors.
If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Garrett, XP Deus, Tesoro, and macro detectors and supplies, and he is now an authorized dealer for MineLab. So, if you're looking to get your hands on the new Equinox 600 or 800, then Tim is your guy. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any questions you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4644 888-878-4611, and be sure and tell him Relics Radio sent you.
I tell you what, guys, even though Tim is technically a competitor to us, he is an outstanding guy. I can't say enough good about Tim Henderson.
He really is. We talked yesterday about, of course, he got into the gold sluicing and stuff, and then panning for gold. Then he went out and bought a dredge, and then
I was going to buy his dredge from him, actually.
Were you?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if he still has it or not. I never did, but
I would love to have a dredge.
Oh yeah.
So what do they run? I've never even priced one.
Depends on the size and depends on if you have a 3-inch or 4-inch and the size of the motor. There's so many variables. He had one of the really nice. I think it was like a 4-inch. I think it was a nice one though. It was one of those serious ones where you better find a lot of gold to pay for it.
Man. Well, guys, if y'all got any questions for Shawn, just the call-in number is I'm posting it right now. It's 678 area code 774-7335. So, but yeah, I kind of got tongue-tied there. I was fixing to read Relic's radio number.
Well, I do it all the time, man, and I read that number all the time, and I still do it. So. But y'all call in if you have a question for Shawn. I'm sure he'll be glad to talk to you. Talking about the research stuff, going back to that, I really like that Land Glide. It is $9 a month. Some counties that we found were not on there where it didn't. It would show the landowner, but like if you click to go to like see the age, because you can see the age of the house on some of those by clicking on the county link. And some of them, at least down here, are not in there. And some of them are.
Yeah, a lot of them out here aren't. Yeah. Every time I click on one, I'm not able to get the date off. That's why I use the iMaps to try to get a date. Or I search it on Explorer. I'll just go out there and pull it up on Safari, and I'll try to find it on Zillow or something.
Well, I know I use a website. It's called Tennessee Property Viewer. And it'll bring up and it shows the property line. And if it's got a dwelling on that property, it'll just, if you know the house is older than 1900, but on the website it just says 1900. It doesn't say anything below 1900. But I mean, it's a real great website.
We found that usually if it says 1900, I guess sometime it could be 1900, but a lot of times that means they do not know how old it is.
Okay.
At least from my experience here, because I asked one of the tax assessors about that. Hey, guys, we've got a caller at 9302. Caller, go ahead. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Woody Jones. Hey, Jeff, Heath,
hello, Woody.
Shawn. What's going on, fellas?
Woody.
Not a brother.
Great show tonight. Hey, right on, man. Shawn, I grew up in Franklinton. I'm sure you know where that's at.
Okay.
Right there in Franklin County, outside of... I'm just wondering, have you ever checked around there? Do you ever get any properties to search around there? Because there is a lot of Indian activity, Native American activity in that area, and I'm not sure if you're into that as well, but there's a lot of history in that area, and I wasn't sure if you've ever been towards that way or...
Yeah, the guys and I, we've got some permissions in Franklinton, Youngsville, up in that area, Henderson, all in that area. So, yeah, we're all up in there already.
Everything's good there? You ever find good stuff? Or
I don't think what I did... I know in Franklinton, we found... Actually, Blaine found it, but he found a wedding band, and ended up being... The house that we were at was built in, like 1930s, I think, if I remember correctly, 1920s, 1930s. And then 3 houses down was the old lady that actually lived there as a kid. She was in her 80s, and her grandma, she lives in her grandma's house now, but her grandma had given her a wedding band, and while she was still living with her parents at the other house that her dad had built where we were at, she lost the ring there. And we were able to return it back to her, and she lost it like 60-something years ago in the backyard.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And she cried on the front porch. It was a definitely good moment for all of us to get that back there.
Oh man,
right on. Well, good deal. Well, hey, it's a great show tonight, guys. I just thought I'd call in and fellow North Carolinian, so I thought I'd just call in and see what's going on. So I appreciate it, guys.
Take care,
Woody.
Thank you.
All right. right, bye-bye.
Yeah, Woody, he calls in quite often, and of course, Sev and I, we've been planning on having him over this way hunting a little bit, and then we just really hadn't got together yet, so we will sooner or later, but need to find some colonial sites.
Oh, yeah.
I stumbled on one the other day. I was found about a month and a half ago. Me and Tyler did. We were looking for the same place. We were looking for Civil War, and he found a silver cufflink, and I found half of a shoe buckle, and there was a flat button, or a tomback button was found. And this was supposed to be where a Civil War location was, so there was some colonial activity where we were at, and we just happened to stumble across it looking for the Civil War location.
Yeah, I mean, that's mainly, like, some of our best spots that we have found, we've just been looking for a Civil War site and just stumbled across it. And then Loy, he's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and then he's got the eye for it. And then, of course, I'm trying to learn from him, so... I mean, just like pretty much hilltops near water. And then, of course, for some reason, I never did really hunt them spots. I'd pass over them. Like when I first started hunting, I was just looking for Civil War relics. And then, of course, I'd run through this trashy area, and I was like, man, I don't want this. Is a bunch of trash. And then I'd just walk off and leave it. And then now I'd go back and, hey, this is a good spot to hunt. So,
yeah. Well, now,
we love our pony.
Do you guys have, and we don't down here, we don't have a lot of cellar holes and stuff like that, so a lot of those house sites, once they're gone and the chimneys fail, sometimes it's harder to spot those. Do you guys have cellar holes there, or Shawn or Jeff, either one?
Not really in my area. There's a few, but, I mean, the colonial sites out here are different, I think, way different from what the guys are seeing up in, northern Virginia and up to Maine and all that area, Vermont and stuff, Pennsylvania even. It's a different type of colonial out here. Yeah. It's not the same.
Yeah, we don't have that. I mean, we have a few, but most of them, when the farmers would bury them, and then, I mean, they would be gone forever. So, yeah. I mean, I know one big permission that I've got, it's got 2 cellar holes on it, and then one of them, it kind of, you walk down in the steps, and then, of course, it's kind of round on the inside, and you can see the rocks where they've been laid. And down in the far left corner, it's got this hole that's about 24 by 24, and you can see where it's rocks. It's laid all the way up through there, and it looks, if you get down with the flashlight, it looks like it opens up to another room. And, of course, I haven't been off in there yet. And I've been trying to get Lori to go off in there first, because you see some coyote tracks going in and out of it. So I'm pretty sure a coyote's made a den out of it. So I thought about just getting a camera and put it on a remote control truck and send it back in there to see what I could see. And then I could just see a bunch of bottles and stuff back there. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I hit that thing in the winter, so the snakes will be nice and dormant.
Oh, yeah.
Crawl in there with a 45 in one hand, your leash in your teeth.
Yeah.
That's what it would take.
We tend to have more root cellars here, and even then don't find a lot of those, but they're just a little small, and they're usually detached from the house. Now, I actually found a block eye at one of the root cellars. It was down in the edge, like almost in the sidewall, right before it collapsed into the hole. I dug a really nice solid cast eye in Resaca, Georgia, out of a root cellar.
Man, that was a great find. I'd love to find that cellar hole.
Yeah. Well, now I promise you, I went all through that. And,
so you've heard it pretty bad, huh?
I'm not saying that there's not anything else in there, but I'd be shocked. So I even took the GPX in there after that. So I tell you, guys, we got another caller, and I think this guy's been a long time listener of the show. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, great show, guys. Great show. Shawn, you just keep getting better and better each time that we have you on. I think me and Heath are probably going to host American Digger one night and have you on again. You just make the whole round.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You're doing
Thank you.
Doing a great job. And Heath and Jeff are doing a great job, too. I think I'm just going to stay another month here, Mark Hoover. So. I got a little bit worried a while ago, though. Mark Hoover said in Florida you couldn't take anything out of the water that was over 50 years old. So I'm not going to get in the ocean.
Because you won't be able to get back out.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me back out.
Well, the good news now, you're actually in Alabama, or did you move on down a little further south?
No, I'm still in at Orange Beach.
Well, you're safe. You're safe, man. We don't have all those regulations like that here. Well,
and I got scared to death whenever they start talking about permits. I tell you what,
just
I know
cringed.
Heath and his rants.
See, I was good.
Yeah, you were good. You were. Keep
Took
him
a
in
lot of
line,
self-control.
Jeff, and
I'm going to try to.
I'll see you probably Monday or Tuesday or something.
Monday or
Good
Tuesday.
job, guys.
When are you coming back home?
Saturday.
Saturday? Okay.
Yeah, coming back in Saturday. So we. By the way, guys, me and Jeff next week have a gold prospecting video coming out. You don't miss it. We find tons of gold.
Tons of it. That's why he's able to stay a month in Florida. I was wondering what he was doing with all that gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay for this trip right here. We may buy that dredge when we get back.
Well, now you guys are going to have to come and get in the creek with Scott and I here in Alabama. I was before the show. Yeah. I was telling Jeff, I live about 3 miles as the crow flies from the largest producing gold mine in Alabama history. So, and we found gold in the creek. The property that we own has a creek that bears gold out of it, and the Tallapoosa River. So, lots of opportunity for a dredge when you guys get the dredge.
Well, I just wanted to call in. I think we're fixing to go back to the pier, so I just wanted to call in and tell you that you guys are doing a great job, and I certainly do appreciate all of you.
Yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have you. We'll have you again, Shawn. You're a great guest, super guest.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Take care, Loy. Yeah, I'm going to have to tell Loy if he gets a chance to metal detect before he leaves, I need to put him on some of those Selma Arsenal bullets. So there's some. Anyway, you know, those are fairly uncommon bullets. I don't know if y'all found many in Tennessee, but they are.
I haven't.
Hey, they're pretty common down that way. There's some spots you can get on down there, Selma Arsenal bullets, and come out beautiful too out of that sandy soil. Have you ever dug a Selma Arsenal, Shawn?
No, I have not. I did dig a rare Confederate bullet up in Virginia area not in the winter time frame. Tyler said it was a rare one, and it was rare to find it in that area because of the troop activity where we were at. So, but I did score that, and I had like 3 bucket listers that day. I scored a cufflink Civil War button, and then I dug a J hook, and I dug a that Confederate bullet, and those were all 3 that I had never dug yet. So I scratched off 3 of them in one day.
I guess I should probably. Yeah, I guess I should probably stipulate they're probably not considered rare, but they're very uncommon. Let me say that, depending on where you are. But you guys come down this way, and we'll make a trip down and to see if we can find a few of them. They're beautiful bullets.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
But and then do the dredging while we're there. So
yeah, man, we'll make the Grand Slam Grand Tour of Alabama. We'll hunt Andrew Jackson. We'll hunt Civil War, and we may even hunt a little gold.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Shawn, before we're getting kind of close to the end, do you have anything on your list to find this year, maybe that you hadn't found yet you're on the hunt for?
No, I'm hoping to make it up northeast, actually. Been talking to a couple of the guys, Dave Wise, DJ, and even Jocelyn. She's invited me up to hunt with her and Drew. So I've got to try to do something scheduled to make it up their way and see what I can find up in those honey holes of lead sentence and solar holes and things like that. But as far as probably something more seeded, I've only found one seeded dime, and I would really like to find a seeded quarter or a seeded half.
Yeah, those are harder to come from. I've hunted 26 years, and I only have one seeded quarter ever. Most of my seededs are usually dimes or half dimes.
That's what mine are. And I found one seeded quarter, and luckily it was 1876 Carson City. So,
how about that?
Oh, wow.
It was a good one. So
I think it was just because most of the people in the South were dirt poor after the Civil War.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I've been around a couple of half dimes found, but I haven't found one myself yet. So I'm still waiting for that one to pop up out of the ground as a surprise.
Oh yeah.
I guess
have
it's
another question for him.
No, I guess we've covered about everything that I had wrote down. So
yeah,
but it was real nice talking to you, Shawn. And then
it was good talking to you guys. I appreciate it.
Come out this way, we'll put you on some Civil War bullets or something. So
absolutely,
or try to.
All right, I'm down. I'm definitely in the hunt for a plate. That's breastplate or a buckle. Either one of those. That's another on my bucket list to try to score.
Well, come down. We've had some success. We took a guy, J.J. Holt. It was his first time ever Civil War relic hunting and never found a bullet. We took him to a yard that I always take people to. And before he dug a bullet, he dug a U.S. plate and a sword scabbard from one hole to the next. Before he dug his first bullet. So,
wow.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that permission is no more. The guy moved out, but we've got some others in the area. So,
man, that's what I was fixing to ask the address.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you what, I would give it to you. The guy that lives there now is a former Air Force guy. Scott and I stopped in to see him, and found out that our buddy had no longer resides there and had sold his house. And the guy didn't seem very interested in letting anybody detect. He said, "Well, I'm going to do it myself." And I said, good luck. There might be something left, but not a lot.
Yeah. I've heard that story myself a few times, and then of course the old lady, she probably 95. She says, "No, Sonny, I've got me a metal detector. I'm gonna get out there and find that stuff." And I was like, with oxygen hooked up and all this, I was like, "Well, good luck, ma'am." Thank you for your time.
Me and Luke actually got the same exact story of a lady up in Warrington that we stopped in, and she's got a huge place, and we stopped in there. She said her son just bought her a metal detector, and she's every bit of 80 going on 90, walking with a cane and everything, and said she's going to get out there and metal detect. And she had such a great sense of humor at the very end, because we asked one more time, we go, "Are you sure you don't want us to, you can walk with us? We'll dig the holes for you, everything." And she looked at us all funny and laughing at us and said, "Eat your heart out, boys." I was like, "Oh, just rub it in."
And, I wonder a lot of times you get like somebody older like that, if they don't have their money buried in their backyard and just don't want you to accidentally find it.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder. It really does. I tell you, it was rare for me to be able to tell somebody that said that after having already detected the place for over 2 years, to say, "Well, you might find something, but you probably not," because the last couple of times we went there, we didn't even find a bullet. So,
I know some of my favorite permissions is when I go knock on the door and I get somebody telling me it's already been metal detected, and it's like, to me, it's like, hold my beer, give me a shot. I love the challenge and it surprises me every time of what I find on a place that's been hit pretty hot and heavy. So.
Well, and a lot of people may have granddad's 1970 model metal detector, and they didn't know how to use it even at that. And so you'd be shocked at how much good stuff's still out there. And we tell them all the time, "Hey, we might not find anything, but you mind if we take a shot with these new machines?"
That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Shawn, thanks for coming on the show tonight. You're absolutely great guest as always, and we really appreciate it, and I know Loy does as well. But
it was our honor.
Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me out there. I really appreciate it, and hope you guys had a good 4th. And
yes, sir.
I look forward to the next time, and hopefully I can get down y'all's way or up y'all's way, whichever direction, and try to make some hunts out with you guys soon.
Invitation's always open.
That's right. Sure is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And on behalf of everybody here on the show, thanks for listening to everybody in the audience. Be sure to tune in again next week. Loy will be back from vacation, and he and Jeff will be your normal crew will be back. That will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And be sure not to miss out. And thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Thanks, guys.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or iTunes. Please take a minute and hit the like button and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Digging with Seven or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook page. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to diggingwith7@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us next Thursday night, and until then, get out there and dig some history.